this is where my dishwasher would normally be if I had one. Unfortunately, I still don't. Until now. I went ahead and I bought new hoses. We're going to replace that hard line, the water supply line, with an actual dishwasher braided stainless steel hose. And the drain line, which is 26 years young, is going to be replaced with a nice, brand new, supple, non-dried out drain hose, so that we can install this. This is a late 1990s Frigidaire. I bought this on Craigslist for $25. Let me get some more light on over here. This is the only 18-inch dishwasher I could find on the used market, and because they're exceptionally rare. And no store in my area, and I mean in like the southern part of New Hampshire, sells 18-inch dishwashers off the floor. Hey, Croggy. So what this all means is I have to spend roughly $550 on a new one to order it. I found a brand new Frigidaire from an online supplier that sells through eBay for $400. I was going to do that unless I could find a good used one. And this seems to be the best one I can find. It's all there. It's in really good shape. Unlike all of the other 18-inch dishwashers, this one has a plastic tub, which is just like every modern dishwasher available. Plastic tubs have replaced steel because they don't rust, and steel rusts. And they've replaced stainless steel for cost reasons. But there's nothing wrong with a plastic tub. I mean, my parents have one that is probably almost 15 years old now and still works. The unit, I bought it from what could possibly be considered its third owner. The guy bought this for his mobile home, and he ended up putting a full-sized unit in. He bought it at a yard sale. He claims it worked. That's what the previous owner had alleged. I mean, there is a lot that can go wrong in a dishwasher, this old even. I'm going to pull these levelers up so I can readjust them when I put it in. But anyway, I mean, it's in really good shape physically. I don't see any signs of leakage, which was my number one concern. It does have this anti-backflow valve on the drain connection, so hopefully that fits my new drain hose. I'm sure it does. I think I might wash that with soap and water, and I'll put a little bit of soap on it so that it slides on without buckling. It sat outside for what could have been 1 or 2 rainstorms, which is why there's a little bit of corrosion on the bottom of the unit. Didn't want to buy a used one. It's a real gamble. But the motor spins freely. There's no signs of leakage. And it's all here, pretty much. I mean, there's nothing really missing. And just like my old dishwasher, this one doesn't have an air gap either. So it's like, really? Anyway, I don't know. That's not really code compliant, but whatever. It's not like my existing dishwasher was either. So let's get these all collapsed. That way it can be put in, leveled on the floor, and be set to the right height from the from the get-go. So electrical supply is here, water supply is right here. So I might have to pull this front plate off to get to that. We'll see. But just wipe it down a little bit with a rag, clean it up as best I can, and then I'll put it in. So for those of you who know better, my dishwasher was originally installed improperly. The drain hose and the water supply were installed at the lower part of the cabinet. It should have come up here, that is, the drain. The drain is supposed to go through the top. That way, if the P-trap were to clog, the water would rise, but it would never go through the drain hose on the dishwasher. The way it's designed right now, if the P-trap were to clog, the water would rise up above this level here, where my hand is, and the water would start to drain into the dishwasher. Very bad. So it would actually drain down right into the dishwasher's basin, and could possibly fill up the dishwasher if we're not paying attention. That is actually the reason for the air gap. The air gap is to prevent water from flowing into the dishwasher. It actually is designed to have a high loop so that the water, as it's being forced out of the dishwasher, goes up and down and into the trap. That way, when there's no water flowing, there's actually a water level here, and then airspace up here, and then water here, sort of like that. It's designed to protect the occupants of the home from a contaminated dishwasher, bacterial contamination. Higher end dishwashers will actually have a check valve. This one, that little thing I saw on the end of the drain was not a check valve like I thought it was, like something that would slip into the hose. It was no such thing. I've got a tile here that hasn't quite seated and hasn't quite adhered to the floor yet, and some water just spilled on the floor. So that'll probably never seat because there's no traffic here. I mean, I can press it down all I want, but it keeps wanting to lift up. It's only there for moral support anyway. And when I put the new countertop in, I installed this strip here to screw the dishwasher into. The original dishwasher had no such thing. They really didn't put this kitchen together properly. So I'm going around and trying to fix all their mistakes. So now I've got to take my drill here and drill a new drain hose hole up towards the top. So that'll be fun. Now that is a drain hose hole. Not that. And just as a quick note, if you've never used a hole saw before, the object is to drill almost halfway through on one side, and then you take the tool and you finish on the other side. And the reason for doing that is so that you don't blow out the other side of the cabinet. What that'll do is it'll cause the laminate to start peeling and chunks of particle board to go blasting through, and it makes for a really bad hole. Unless you're drilling blindly into a hole that doesn't have access from the other side. That's really how you do it. What's nice about using the correct hoses is that you can actually make your water connections while the dishwasher is out. The only thing left now is electrical. Okay, we're getting ready for the inaugural wash, at least in this location, in this house. Everything's all there. I like this dishwasher. Now let's see if these racks pull out. Oh wow, they stopped. See, my old one, the rack would keep going until all the dishes crashed on the floor. Yeah, that wasn't fun. Top rack is intact. Got a flip up thingy there. Look at that. And the plastics aren't even broken. The racks aren't rusting. Let's boink. Okay, we did this drain cycle. There we go. Keep an eye out for water leaks. Again, when you buy a used dishwasher, this is the kind of stuff you gotta worry about. Now, I did pay only $25 for it, so if it doesn't work, I'm not going to be pissed, but okay, so it's now in its wash cycle. It sounds about like my... Actually, it sounds a little bit louder than my old one. No, maybe not. Maybe about the same. Now, the next thing you might be asking is, well, gee, Bishop, it's the wrong freaking color. You're right, it is. Here's the lower panel. Oh, by the way, if there were water leaks, this pad would be moldy. Anyway, so yeah, it's black. This is what it looked like when I picked it up. Pretty nasty. And that's what I got it to. Pretty unnasty. Most dishwashers from the early days had reversible color panels. Unfortunately, this one doesn't. I may paint these with Rust-Oleum almond, the light almond. I may just leave it alone. It really doesn't look that bad. Okay, it just ran its first drain cycle. Check for leaks under the sink. Now let's see. Ooh, what's this? That could be from the old drain hose, but I don't know for sure. This is why I lined my lower shelves. Because there just might be a leak, you never know. Aha! You gotta be kidding me. That's leaking. Alright. I think I may have jostled the drain a little bit and broke the seal. I mean, it's not like it's that loose, but I'm glad I checked. Just like that, out it comes. Real easy. In fact, an idiot can do it. I did. So you can see that I'm glad I took this apart. There's like a baffle right there that prevents, to help prevent water from coming from the dishwasher and leaking, not leaking, but spraying upwards into the sink area. So right now, if that dishwasher kicks on, it's not going to cause us any grief. So I have to replace this caulking here. This is just plumber's dope. I'm going to clean the seal area with some alcohol to make it nice and clean. Okay, I tweaked up the fitting a little bit. It's kind of loose. You don't want to over tighten it, it's only PVC. If the dishwasher kicks into drain mode, I'm going to have to shut this off, but here we go. Alright. Water leaking, no. Yes. Yes, it is. Most certainly is. Not by much, but just enough. Well, I'm going to work on this for a little bit. I'll get it taken care of. Till then. I'm actually running a drain cycle right now. And I have the plunger on for the final leak test. Alright. Now it's refilling. It's drained. Happy days. Stupid extra wax ring I have. Put that out of my way. Alright. Okay, this is it. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to go down to the hardware store tomorrow and pick up a new seal. Because I think they can only be used once. Arg. Alright. I might actually just buy a better quality strainer while I'm there. This one's kind of nitty. Alright, here we go. I see water forming. Are you kidding me? So here's why it's leaking. Here's the one-time use seal that I pulled out. This was the one that I installed back in April. And when I had removed the drain, or the strainer, I had shifted it over a little bit. And then when I went to go retighten it, see how it formed these little impressions on it? Yeah. Once it does that, it's done. You can't use it again. So, I think I have one of these. No, I don't. I have to buy one. And I can't buy one right now because the hardware store is closed. So I'm going to have to not use my sink for a night. But that's all I've got to do is get a new one of those. If I could sand this down smooth, I could potentially use it again. When you're in a bit of a bind, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
This drill arbor actually makes a great holder for it. All I have to do, go like this. I'm left-handed, so like that. And that puts the pressure evenly where it needs to be, towards the middle. And it's working. This is only 800 grit paper, so that's perfect. All the marks are gone. And we're going to take 1000 grit. Once we get all the marks off. And they're gone. Now we take our 1000 grit paper. Which means it's kind of a waste of paper for the part, actually, the paper itself, the sandpaper, costs more than the part. So, this is more of a, I don't want to go to hardware store situation. Nice and smooth. Look at that. Oh yeah. I think I have something higher than that. I might have even 1200. Oh, 2000 grit. There we go. Let's do some progressive sanding. 2000 grit. Here we go. Polish that sumbitch. Make her not leak ever again. You know, this is a lot of work for a part that costs 50 cents. And you don't have one? Okay, now she's ready to go back on. Jerry has been rigged. Oh, that is smoother than I thought it was. I'm going to pull that down and slide it in.
Okay, so the verdict is in. You see where it leaked? Yeah, neither do I, because it didn't. It didn't leak. There were no leaks. And in fact, I filled it right up to the rim this time. I got as much water pressure behind it as I could. And I redid this seal here. Well, we're now the next afternoon. I'm making some dinner. And the dishwasher is done. I got the panels back on. I had to find my own screws because the previous owner lost the screws that go to hold the panel on. Oh well, whatever. I cleaned out the inside. It had some mold forming at the bottom of the door, and it has some dirt on the edges, and all that's cleaned off now. Things like brand new. Cost me, actually, this is what it really cost to do this. Okay, so we're looking at $25 for a dishwasher. That's simple enough. About $20, no, $15 for the new water supply line, which I needed anyway, whether I bought a new one or not. About $12 for the drain hose. And it cost me $40 in gas to get it, because I had to borrow my uncle's van, which is a gas guzzler. I put $20 in it, and by the time I was there, I was already down to where I was when I started for fuel. So it's like, Jesus. It cost me $40 in gas to pick this thing up. But I'm still in it for, probably a little under $100. But you figure a new one would have cost me $4, so I think I did okay. But now I have a new drain and supply line, so that when I do get a new dishwasher, I won't have to, like when this one blows up, I figure I'm going to give it 5 years. The new one will be just bolt right up. It's already set up and everything. I don't need to buy any other pieces. I mean, those hoses should last 20 some odd years, so I'm not too concerned about that. In fact, the ones that I pulled, the drain hose that I pulled out was still good. It was just getting old and brittle. And the supply line that they used wasn't even code compliant, I don't think. It wasn't really designed for a dishwasher, so the hard copper line had to go. So there you go.